Alright, so as you can see by the title of this video, I sold my Sony A7 III. So basically this is going to be like a review of the camera, even though I sold it already. I will show you some footage and I will tell you how I liked it during these 2.5 years that I used the camera. And I'll also tell you why I sold it and if it's a good camera for you and if you should still get it in 2025. So basically I bought the Sony A7 III at the end of 2022. I was before like using only like the old Sony A7 and like for my drones I was using GoPros and just a phone. So I never had like a real 4K camera. So I said then to myself, okay, I need some camera. The A7 IV was actually really expensive back then, and the A7 III was basically a lot cheaper, and also there was a cashback at that time. So yeah, I bought the A7 III, I think back then for 1,500 euros or something with a cashback. For me, it was a good thing because I could switch from a Sony A7 to the Sony A7 III without buying a new lens or anything because I already had lenses for my Sony A7. With the Sony A7, I basically only took pictures and sometimes some videos. But yeah, you had the HD and there was like no color profile or whatever. So it was basically just a camera to take pictures with. So first off, when I bought the A7 III, I was like thinking like, okay, I need some hybrid because I was also looking at the FX30, but back then, I was still taking a lot of photos and less video. So I said like, okay, I'm going to buy the A7 III and I still have 4K 25 or 30, so that should be okay for me. Back then, I didn't really care about like 8-bit, 10-bit and all these color profile things. When I bought the A7 III, I basically didn't make that many pictures anymore and I started more filming, and that's where I got to love like videography. So I went to all kinds of car meets, I went to meet up with friends with cars. That was the first thing where I started. And then slowly I started doing more stuff like some nature shots and some other stuff for other people. So but when I bought it, I already had the Ronin SC, the first one. And then later I exchanged it for the Ronin RSC2. I still have that one now at this point because I still think that it's a really, really good gimbal. Maybe one thing why I would like the RS4 is because it has vertical mode and it has like a wireless recording button, so you don't have to like plug in like this cable into the camera, because that one annoys me a lot of times. So, but yeah, I just cannot justify paying like 500 euros for a new gimbal while this one is still working really good. What were my thoughts about the A7 III? And I'll tell you like some pros and cons and why I got it. Well, because like I said, I did a lot of pictures. So it had 24 megapixels full frame, and I mean, the photos that you can get with the camera are amazing. I'm not going to talk a lot about photos right now because I mostly do videos. So basically for me, it was, yeah, like I said, it's 4K 25, 8-bit. Well, I still think that the A7 III is really, really nice if you use like other profiles than the S-Log 3. I used S-Log 2 with the ITU 709 matrix, and I think that that profile was really, really nice. But because, if you know how to expose, and you know how to like set up everything, how to light the scene and all these things, then you are really good with 8-bit. And I mean, these sensors of these cameras are so big that like the dynamic range is really nice, even like on an 8-bit sensor. And I still think that it's an amazing camera. If you want to begin with shooting videos, say like, okay, I don't have that much money like to buy like a completely new camera, like one of the newer Sonys, then you can still go with the A7 III because on secondhand website you can really find it for a good price. I even saw them like I think for 700 euros now used. So that's a really nice deal if you get the camera for that price. I sold it for 1,300 with the lens. I sold my Sony Zeiss 24-70 together with that camera because I had the camera listed for 1,000 euros and the lens for 400. So I said like, okay, I will sell it together for 1,300 because yeah, I will give discount of 100 euros if you buy together. I already deleted the ad and I forgot to do that on a Facebook Marketplace. And some person basically asked me like, yeah, if I still want to sell it. And I was like, I don't know. I still love this camera, you know? So, and I was like, and the person was like, yeah, let me know because tomorrow I could pick it up. And he was like, yeah, tomorrow at 10 in the morning I could pick it up. And I was like, oh, I don't know what to do. And then I said like, yeah, okay, come just pick it up, take it out of my hands. Like, keep the pain short, you know? Well, the person came the next morning and he bought the camera from me. I bought the A7 IV now, and I will tell you like why. Mostly because of 10-bit 42. I mean, like I said, the A7 III is really, really good, even with 8-bit. But for some run and gun scenarios, I actually now find out that the 10-bit is really, really nice. I mean, it's nice, but it's not that the A7 III is a worse camera or something. It's just a little bit different. You have just a little bit more space to play around with, like with the colors and everything in post-production. You can use S-Log3 instead of S-Log2, and some other stuff that is really nice on the A7 IV. So, but still, I think that the A7 III is a really, really good camera. It is basically the camera that got me into videography, and it's a camera that made me a lot of money, and it will forever stay in my heart because the camera actually never disappointed me. There are actually no things that I didn't like on this camera. I mean, if I wanted to shoot slow motion, I went to 1080p 120. I upscaled it in DaVinci, and I mean, it looked really, really good. And like I said, if you know how to lit a scene, if you know how to expose, the 10-bit is more than enough. And if you use, like I said, the S-Log2 or HLG3, because HLG3 is, okay, it's maybe a 10-bit profile, but still I think it was really decent and you could get really nice colors out of it. So yeah, if you're looking for a camera to start, or you are into photography and you want to like try something new, like try to experiment with videos, then I think that the A7 III is a really good camera for you. I mean, you have basically everything that you need on it. Like even now still for clients, like there is no client that will tell you, like, unless it's not a production company that really knows what they are talking about, but no one will ask you like, yeah, I want you to film with a 10-bit camera. No one. So don't worry about that. Basically, if you deliver like really nice footage, and you will with this camera, then you're good to go, you know. So at this point, I still have the Sony ZV-E10. This one I have like a B-cam, you know, like just to have something extra to my Sony A7 IV now. But I'm also going to sell it probably like in a month or two, I will see, and get the ZV-E10 too, because that one also has 10-bit 42. And like I said, it's not that I really need that 10-bit, but it's nice to have. And mostly like if you're doing some run and gun, basically for scenarios where you don't have the chance like to set up some lights, or you know, and then the 10-bit is really nice, because even if your white balance isn't set correctly, you can still correct it really nicely in DaVinci when you use 10-bit. But yeah, also the ZV-E10 too, I will get that one. Because basically I will have it as a beacon like to my Sony A7 IV, and also when I go like to some wedding or whatever, then I really like to have another camera with me, just to be sure that if something would go wrong with my Sony A7 IV, then I would have a second camera with me. Some people said like that the A7 III overheats. I mean, I never had that issue one time on a wedding, but then it was also because my overheating, like, you know, threshold or whatever it is that you can set up in the settings, was not set on high. So basically it was just on normal. So the camera shut off during the wedding, but it was because I was filming, I think like for 25 or 30 minutes, like without stopping. So therefore it happened, but it didn't happen to me after that. So if you want to record like interviews or something, then you have to consider there is like a 30-minute cap on the Sony A7 III. So after 30 minutes, it automatically stops recording. So this can be an issue for someone who is planning to use it during interviews. Now on the Sony A7 IV, you can record for hours. Well, and they say sometimes the Sony A7 IV overheats too, but I don't know. I have been filming now with it for 2 weeks. I even filmed now in a spa and everything, and I had zero issues because it was super hot in there. film in 4K 50 and I had zero issues, no overheat, like even the warning sign, you know. So yeah, I don't know. And the same thing I had with the Sony A7 III. So like I said, for photos, if you want a camera for the photos, go for it. I don't think there is any better camera that you can get for the money, especially not secondhand. The autofocus is amazing. The viewfinder, if you never had like a mirrorless camera, I mean, everything on this camera is really, really nice. So yeah, like I said, I will miss it, but I'm really happy that I went to the Sony A7 IV now. I think sometimes you just have to upgrade because I just felt like it was the time. I still got nice money for it. And I thought like, okay, if I won't sell it now, I wouldn't get that much money for it anymore. One thing, maybe some people say like, okay, the Sony A7 V is coming soon. Yeah, true, but I'm not going to pay 3,000 euros for a camera. Maybe later, like just keep my Sony A7 IV as a B cam and buy the A7 V or something else, FX3 or something. But at this point, I really wanted a new camera, and I said to myself like, okay, with the cashback and everything, the Sony A7 IV was around 2,000 euros. So that's a really good price for it. And like I said, there wouldn't be a cashback on the Sony A7 V. So it's probably have to pay like 3,000 euros. And at this point, when I'm basically starting being a freelancer, I don't really want to pay 3,000 euros for a camera, because that 1,000 euro is a lot if you can have that, and even that money can be used for lights or lenses or whatever. Right, so basically before I was mostly doing drone videos, but at this point I said to myself like, I want to do more camera stuff. So if you like this video, let me know, and if there are some things that you want me to talk about in the next video, maybe about one of these Sony cameras, let me know and I will make a new one. Yeah, from now on I will do more of these videos. So thanks for watching, guys, and have a nice day. Bye bye.